Investor in a Nutshell with me, Ina. We are back. Ang kasama natin muli si Attorney Lou Jansen Dangzalan. Meron tayong sasagutin na isang commenter. Okay, in one of my recent episodes. Welcome back, Attorney Lou. Okay? Alam nyo naman, okay, yung mga nangyayari ngayon sa Pilipinas, napakagulo. Napanood nyo ba yung mga balita dyan sa mga pangyayari sa Senado, yung mga takbuhan, takbuhan sa hagdan, barilan, ano ba yan, putukan dyan sa Senado. Anyway, okay, I'm not surprised actually na may ganitong thinking. Because if you see the news back home, many people really just want to get out of there. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, kaya naiintindihan ko itong si commenter na ito. Ang tanong niya, let me put it up. Hold on. Ano ba yun? Okay. How about apply as refugee while inside Canada? Especially daw with the current issues in the Philippines. Okay, by the way, this comment was posted soon after reports came out about what happened in the Senate, guys. Okay. Sabi niya, I have a colleague, hindi naman daw Filipino. They were advised by their consultant to apply for refugee before their work permit na Lamia-based expired. So I think yung dating niya, pwede ba din ba maging ground sakali yung gulo sa Pilipinas? Baka for a refugee sa mga Pinoy dito. What do you think about this comment, Attorney Lou?
Well, siguro let's establish some baselines para ma-inform yung discussion natin dito. Ano ba ang refugee or asylum seeker? Ito ay isang individual na umalis sa kanyang bansa at naghahanap ng protection from another country gawa nga ng mga circumstances. Pero yung international law under convention, dinedefine ito, and as a result, Canadian law also defines it as someone who is fleeing, say for example, political, religious, ethnic, racial, gendered persecution. Pwedeng religious persecution. Then talagang merong pagta-target sa inyong grupo, number one. Pangalawa, ikaw mismo, specifically ikaw, tina-target ka. So, dalawang levels yan. Objective, which is ibig sabihin, objectively, you belong to a class of persons who are being persecuted. And again, enumerated yan kung anong types of persecution. Hindi po kasama ang economic persecution dito. Kasama po ang political speech, if nasa opposition ka, or halimbawa, mamamahayag ka na tinitira talaga yung free press, for example. Ganon. Pangalawang punto is kailangan subjectively, ikaw mismo ang tina-target. So, gawin natin example. Sorry, Ina. Ikaw, dati kang mamamahayag sa Pilipinas.
Go lang,
Sabihin natin,
yeah.
diba, sabihin natin na hindi naman to sekreto na at some point, tinarget talaga ang mga journalists sa Philippines. In fact, at some point, the Philippines was more dangerous than Iraq or Afghanistan as a place where journalists work. So, hats off to our journalist friends. Pero, yun nga, kailangan ikaw mismo tina-target, di ba? So, bigyan natin ng example. Si Maria Ressa, sabihin natin hindi siya kunwari American citizen, di ba? Kasi dual citizen siya. Maria Ressa would have represented the perfect case of a defender of democracy and press freedom. Kasi systematically ina-attack ng government in the past ang press, madaming namamatay, sadly, marami ring tinotokhang, and then in the end, siya mismo, tinira ng government. Weaponize ang Department of Justice, ang prosecutors, against her. So siya mismo may subjective na onslaught yung government. Kung pumunta siya ng Canada, nag-file siya ng asylum from Canada, that would have been a straight shot case.
So in other words, palagay mo, good chance talaga siya.
Good chance siya. Pero kasi nga, dahil US citizen siya, hindi siya mabibigyan kasi meron siyang country na pwedeng puntahan to flee to. Diba? So yun yung baseline. And again, reiterate ko lang, economic issues and political issues in general, if you're not targeted, does not count for refugee or asylum claims.
Okay, so the direct answer is no, ha? No. If ang grounds yung sitwasyon sa Pilipinas, hindi. Don't even consider it anymore. Mahalaga rin ba, Luna, upon arrival here in Canada, to whoever may claim asylum, na yung original intention mo is already to claim asylum? Pwede ba yun? Does it happen often that work permit holders like shift into, ay, magka-claim ako ng asylum later on? How
That
often
is
does
a
that happen?
That's a really good question. Ito yung contention from politics. So, ito rin yung in-address ng Bill C-12, di ba, na very problematic in a sense. So, ang ganda ng question mo kasi una sa lahat, intention. So, ang question ka dyan, may visa ka na ba? Kasi kung may visa ka naman, nag-apply ka for tourism, ginamit mo, nagpunta ka Niagara Falls, tapos umuwi ka, okay na, di ba? Nag-attend ka ng conference. Tapos, valid pa yung visa mo for another 5 years. Tapos nagkagulo sa bansa mo, ikaw mismo tinarget, pwede ka ba mag-file ng asylum? Pwede, I will say. I would not counsel it because I cannot counsel to misrepresent. Halimbawa, kung wala ka pang visa. Pero ikaw may visa ka na eh. So, balik tayo sa example ni Ina Andorong. Yun nga, diba? Nag-attend ka ng conference, journalism conference sa Canada. Tapos, yun nga, umuwi ka ng Pilipinas. Tapos, ikaw yung tinarget specifically ng government for, just doing your job as a reporter, for example. May claim ka ba? Well, yung original intent mo to come to Canada was just to visit, attend a conference. Pero within Canada, pwede ba mag-shift yung intention mo? Of course, people are allowed to change their intentions. 'Di ba? Kasi depende yan sa circumstances mo eh. 'Di ba? Pumasok ka sa Canada, halimbawa. Totoo naman, may conference ka. Totoo naman talaga intention mo. Gusto mo talaga makita yung Niagara Falls, especially kapag ka-winter kasi napakaganda ng Niagara Falls sa winter. Diba? Everyone avoids Niagara Falls kapag ka-winter, by the way. Pero actually, that's my favorite time to go kasi pag frozen yung falls, ang ganda
Iba,
tingnan.
no? Oh, I know.
Iba. So anyway, like, na-segue lang. So in that situation, tapos biglang nagkagulo. Halimbawa, nagkakudeta sa Pilipinas. Kunwari lang. Tapos, yun nga, yung naging bagong presidente or yung junta, for example, pinag-initan ka lalo. Babalik ka pa ba? Di ba kapag ka bumalik ka, sigurado you're facing, problems, maybe even death, for example. So, in that situation, yung intention mo, totoo pa rin, pero do you have the right to claim asylum and political exile in Canada? I would argue yes, under the convention. And yun nga yung purpose ng convention, di ba? Pero yung gulo sa Pilipinas ngayon, kung hindi ka naman tina-target, sabihin natin, pumunta ka ng Niagara, tapos biglang naghabulan sa Senado, biglang nag-Senate coup, hindi naman military coup, alam mo yun, ikaw ba tinarget? Hindi naman, di ba?
May
So,
papinig ka ba doon na parang talagang
oo,
ina-identify ka ng gobyerno as somebody, parang
oo.
gano'n?
Ang question sa'yo ng IRB niyan, who you? Sa equation na to, sino ka? Bakit ka
Oh,
tina-target? Kailangan may demonstrate mo na ikaw mismo hinahabol.
all
So,
right.
to answer your question, you are allowed to shift. And yun nga, depende yan sa circumstances mo, which is precisely the problem with Bill C-12. Diba? Kasi sa Bill C-12, it now restricts your window period to apply for asylum at your point of arrival. Yung legislative intent, kapag binasa nyo yung mga minutes ng meeting sa Senate pati sa House nung dinedebate itong bill na to bago siya naging batas, maraming innuendo na sinasabi ang daming pumasok as international student tapos biglang nagke-claim ng asylum or pumasok kasi temporary foreign worker tapos biglang nagke-claim ng asylum na wala namang basis. Kaya doon ako medyo I wouldn't say triggered, na medyo talagang napapailing talaga ako, lalo na kung nanggaling sa consultant, yung advice na, pa-expire na yung work permit mo tsaka LMIA, wala. Mag-apply ka na lang ng asylum, parang ganyan. That
Oo.
is not an option of last resort, please.
Right, right.
And itong consultant na to, I don't know the facts of this case. Baka naman may laban talaga for asylum itong individual na to na kaibigan ninyo. Di natin alam yan eh. 'Di ba? Pwede naman talagang meron. Pero mag-ingat kayo sa mga kanyang advice. 'Di ba? So parang kung yung main reason is dahil pa-expire na yung work permit tsaka yung LMIA, parang, uy, teka, ano to? Parang
Oo.
may hiwaga, 'di ba?
And is it true, Lou, na kunyari, sakali bang na-approve, kunyari lang may na-approve na asylum claim o refugee na dito sa sa
Mm.
Canada, Pilipino, totoo ba na
Mm.
you cannot visit back anymore? Kasi you already claimed that
Yes.
somebody is going after you back
Correct.
home. Parang bawal ka na bumisita.
Alam mo, kahit nga lang makita ka lang, mapicturean ka lang na pumunta ka sa Philippine Consulate or sa Philippine Embassy na bumibili ng Hindi ko alam kung ginagawa nila sa Canada 'to, pero sa Madrid, for example, sa Spain, sa labas ng Philippine Embassy may nagbebenta ng itlog na maalat tsaka ng chicharon. So, 'di ba pumunta ka dun, bumili ka lang ng biko tsaka ng itlog na maalat. 'Pag may naka-picture sa'yo, ang tawag dito re-availment. Ang ibig sabihin nito, yung basehan ng iyong refugee claim na natatakot ka sa sarili mong gobyerno na puwede kang puksain, hindi ka naman pala takot kasi nagpunta ka dun sa opisina. The mere act of applying for a police certificate, meaning yung NBI clearance, the mere act of renewing your Philippine passport kung may refugee status ka na sa Canada, that could have revocation proceedings against your status in Canada started by the government.
Oh, o 'pag malaman
Yes.
nila 'pag may magsumbong gano'n,
Oo,
oo.
hindi naman pala takot. Bakit may proteksyon ka? Tanggalin yung proteksyon na yan. Wala naman palang puksaan, 'di ba?
Oo,
Gano'n
oo.
'yun.
Okay, but then guys 'no, so hindi naman talaga uso sa totoo lang, let's be real 'no, hindi naman uso sa mga Pinoy ang mag-apply
Mm,
ng,
very
maging
rare.
refugee. But then
Very,
there
very rare.
are a number of cases, files that
Mhm,
have been approved. Can you give us an idea? So sino ba, maliban dun sa talagang, hindi naman tayo lahat mga Maria Ressa dito 'no, but for
right.
more ordinary people,
You'll be
okay.
surprised. There's a lot of journalists from the Philippines. Maraming mga defenders of democracy, mga activists, mga na-red tag. Kasi yung red tagging, 'di ba? Merong class of
Oo,
people. Halimbawa, you belong to a particular political group of political persuasion and you specifically are being targeted, 'di ba? So nasa listahan ka ng battle order, halimbawa, ng CAFGU, halimbawa. Yan, pwede kang mag-claim ng asylum. And successful yung mga ganyan. Pero the most successful claims na nakikita ko sa Canada on the record, and I've talked to other refugee lawyers about this, maraming magagalit sa akin sa comment section, pero yung mga religious persecution by their own former church, Iglesia ni Cristo.
yeah,
Na-report ito ng CBC
yes.
minsan. Hanapin nyo guys.
Oo. At that was approved. Yung sa red taggers, o sabihin mo ng mga miyembro ng mga leftist groups na mahilig mag-rally dyan sa EDSA, sa may Menjola, yung mga
Mhm.
ganyan. I know somebody who was actually approved on
Mhm.
that ground, no, na
Yeah.
kumbaga very active siya sa ganong type of movement.
Mhm.
Anong klaseng type of member ka for you to have a chance, may ganun ba, of being considered as a refugee here?
Well, you have to espouse a political persuasion or conviction. Halimbawa, miyembro ka ng isang kilusan na demokratiko naman, na ini-exercise lang ang iyong freedom of expression, ang iyong political expression, halimbawa, na naniniwala ka na ang land reform, halimbawa, ay talagang genuine way of helping our country to develop. So, kunwari ganun. Dahil nasama ka sa isang kilusan, tapos sinabi lang ng, alam mo yun, ng mga marites diyan na, ano yan, actually, secret NPA yan, 'di ba? Wala namang pruweba. Hindi naman kailangan patunayan, 'di ba, na nasa NPA ka kasi na-marites ka lang tapos sinama ka dun sa battle order nga ng CAFGU. Yun,
Oh,
malakas na yung claim na yan. Kasi alam
ay,
naman natin na may history sa Philippines ng extrajudicial killing ng mga activists and defenders of democracy. Pero
oh,
bibigyan ko rin 'to ng linya. Yung mga indibidwal na mapatutunayan na merong ginamit na dahas or violence sa kanilang pagfo-forward ng kanilang political leanings. So
oh,
yung mga totoong biktima, yung mga totoong miyembro ng mga designated terrorist organizations like the
armed.
NPA, armed rebellion, for example, armed wing, for example. Kasi may question sa immigration parati, di ba? Have you ever used violence to forward a political conviction or cause, 'di ba? Kasi nga hindi pwede. Dapat demokratiko, dapat nasa loob tayo nasa four corners of the law tayo when we are doing our political movement and our expression.
Got
Wag
it.
na tayong pumunta dun sa philosophical debate na inherent right of people to revolt, 'di ba? I get that.
Oo.
Political science din ako. Pero sa question ng batas kasi, kailangan wala tayong ginagamit na dahas. So halimbawa, balik tayo dun sa na-red tag, napatunayan, nagkaroon ng ebidensya, kitang-kita na actually ikaw yung mga identified members ng isang brigada ng NPA na nahuli, halimbawa, tapos nakawala ka, tapos sumama ka lang sa ganyan, tapos yun nga, na-red tag ka ulit, tapos nakapunta ka ng Canada somehow, nakapag-file ka ng asylum, pwedeng i-bring up yan ng Minister's Council sa hearing mo sa Refugee Board na, uy, etong si Ina Andolong gumamit ng dahas laban sa para ganito. Yun, pwedeng mag-fail yung iyong refugee claim pagka ganun.
I see. Okay. So yun guys, it's clear. Unfortunately, hindi po yan grounds. Yung mga gulo, babalikan ko lang yung original natin.
Generally,
Ang gulo sa
oo.
Pilipinas, generally, hindi po yan grounds para humingi kayo ng refugee status dito sa Canada. Again, naiintindihan ko, no? Especially watching the news talaga, it's so frustrating. Ayaw na rin siguro talaga umuwi ng marami nating kababayan dito. Even more. Diba? They're fighting for their status, seeing what's been happening back home. Talagang sabi nila siguro, no? Hindi na to. Gagawa ko na ng paraan talaga to. But again, guys, do it. Maintain valid status. Okay,
Incidentally, Ina, nakita mo yung peso? Halos 62 pesos na to a US dollar.
Is it? Tingnan nyo, diba?
Man, I can understand yung sentiment na paano ba? Pwede ba to? Gets ko. Lalo na kung alam natin na Philippines naman kasi sobrang net importer tayo ng mga bagay, maski pagkain, diba? So lahat nagiging mahal, ang sakit. Sobrang sakit.
Hindi porke na kayo ay mahilig mag-post ng mga commentary against, politicians back home, grounds yan, gagamitin nyo yung proof. Hindi. Tapos makikipag-away ko yun dyan sa social media ninyo. Mga ganyan, look.
No. Generally speaking, no. Not there. I don't think that will meet the threshold. Kailangan talaga specific to you. Pero pwede mo siyang gamitin as parang a part of your evidentiary record. Kasi marami akong nakakausap na ng mga successful asylees or asylum claimants na ginamit nila yung social media attack sa kanila. Yung laging sinasabi nila Maria Ressa tsaka ng Rappler, 'di ba, na online violence is real world violence, 'di ba? So, I am a firm believer of that. I am a very strong supporter of press freedom and yun nga, pwedeng gamitin 'to, pero
as
depende.
Proof
as proof, parte ng maraming proof. Kasi wala namang singular proof eh.
Gusto ko yung sinabi ni Lou, kailangan may ka. You are somebody, who you nga. Okay? Hindi lang kung sino-sino dyan. Okay? Para ikaw ay ma-consider. Anyway, that is it. Thank you so much again, as always. Lou Dangzalan, his email is scrolling down there. Thank you, guys. Okay, if you have more questions, feel free to email them also to me in a nutshell, inanutshellvlog@gmail.com or leave them in the comment section tulad ng itong dinidiscuss natin today. Thanks, guys. We'll end this episode here. Bye!